Hi there, welcome back to Goonies World. I am Johnny Farrow, also known as Sean, and with me, as always, is Meanie, also known as Ryan.
Hello, I am here.
And, of course, we have Lunicorn, also known as Lynn.
Hello.
And we have Goonie, also known as Colin.
Yes, hello.
And once again, we have a special guest, Red Rocket, also known as Joe.
Greetings, fellow travelers.
And we're back to playing Cairn. And we're not even going to recap. We're going to start the very instant that we stopped last time. So, Barbie, you're still hidden in the woods. Those Habsburgs don't know you're here yet. You see where you've got a good idea where everybody is. What do you do?
I would like to check out the grave, the freshly dug grave.
Now, when you say this, you're going to...
Now, when you say, well, is it freshly dug as in there is a corpse in there, or is it freshly dug hole waiting for a corpse?
That's a very important clarification. Let me a freshly laid grave? A hastily laid grave?
Okay.
Like a people weren't too concerned about the decorum involved. And in fact, Corporal Hendel did let something slip earlier when he was talking to Mama Zabagushka about someone dying yesterday and the bell ringing. And so there's that. But that certainly piques your interest. But when you say you want to check it out, I assume you mean visually from where you're still hiding, or do you want to stride out there and reveal your presence and investigate it more closely?
Is there any way to sneak to it without revealing myself?
I don't know. You want to give it a try? It'd be risky.
Or, I mean, because... Okay.
Yeah, because you're not going...
I mean, I'll attempt to kind of sneak around behind.
Hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
But, exactly.
But, from where that is, it's a little trickier sneak than Percival had to do when he was sneaking out behind the chapel. But go for it. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Roll that dice. This is obviously a dexterity save. And she's rolling those dice.
Ooh, yes, I made it with a 6.
Okay, well, you don't think anyone has spotted you. In fact, you crawl right across where Dobrogost is, and you wink at him maybe as you pass. Although he would never know because you're wearing a plague mask, whether you winked or not.
It's true.
Well, even though you're fairly close now, you can't touch it and manipulate it without going out into the open, right? Now, you're right near it, and you absolutely confirm your suspicions, though. This earth was only turned over yesterday, and the body can't be more than a foot or two deep, and this is not going to keep out animals or anything else. And no one has bothered to mark the grave, or, and you're sure the corpse wasn't prepared according to your specifications. So there's that. Do you want to take any immediate action about that, or should I move on to someone else for the moment?
Go ahead and move on.
Okay. So this is noted. I'll let you sit there and plan steam as you look at this. Anyway, Dobrogost, you've just pinged. You've caused quite a commotion. Several of them were peering out into the woods, and they're nervous. One of them says, "Destroy it, just destroy it." Corporal Hendel says, "Silence!" What would the German be for that anyway? I don't know.
Well, it depends on how rude he was trying to be, but Holzmaul means shut up.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Think.
He said that thing. Yeah. And so, do you want to do anything else to increase their nervousness, or you want to stay hidden for the moment and observe events as they unfold?
Oh, man. It's tempting to be slightly mischievous and, try to sort of increase their anxiety. But I don't have a specific idea. I mean, he's just kind of like, I mean, it is getting It's getting kind of close to dark, yeah?
Yeah, about an hour and a half. It'll be at the point where you'd normally stop walking for the day. Yeah. And there may be nothing great to do at the moment. And, of course, your mischievous spirit doesn't torment you constantly, and you've already been fairly mischievous. So wait and watch is always a good option.
And how, comfortable... I mean, could I just, curl up where I'm at and, go to sleep without being,
Well, I mean, if somebody walked by here, they'd see you, But I imagine you could go to sleep if you want to try to get a nap. I mean, you're a foundling. There's something, womb-like about the forest. It's where they found you as a baby, so I can see that happening. I can't think of anywhere to sleep where you'd be guaranteed to not be seen if anyone walked past. But no one could see you from where everyone is right now.
Right, and he's not super concerned about being seen if someone were to walk by. He's more just, concerned about, not alerting these people directly to his... So, yeah, he's just going to hang out for the moment.
Yeah. He doesn't have to, shift on his haunches regularly or his leg will go to sleep or anything like that. He's fairly cozy right where he is. And got a good view of the situation, too. Someone who does not have a great view of the situation because they're behind the burned chapel is Percival. Now, you've noticed that, Rock. You don't think you can read those runes. You think a native would have to do it. Maybe... You have this gut instinct, maybe Mama Zabagushka could read those runes. But, of course, she's out there talking to them. And what do? You got any ideas?
Could I make a rubbing of these runes with, some parchment and charcoal?
That's a great idea, but I don't know if you have those things handy. Now, you're not a completely unlearned man. I think this is a... perfect time for the system to call for... System calls for a luck roll at times like this. I think because because of your background, I think it's plausible you could have some parchment and charcoal, or at least a chunk of pencil or something. But whether you have enough of it, I mean, there's runes all over this stone. So you could get a sample, right, but not the full message. But I think, hey, luck is in your favor. I just rolled a 5 on my luck dice here. That favors you, so I think you can quietly go up there and get a rubbing. I think it's going to take a little bit of time, but there's from where you're at, I don't think it's likely you'd make a lot of noise. You're not in anyone's line of sight. I don't think you have to roll to sneak up there. So you can get a...
The rustling of parchment like someone trying to unwrap candy in a quiet movie theater.
Yeah. Well, if you'd like me to have it risky, we can. But I don't think it would be.
I don't think it is.
Yeah. I take it for granted. I'm more concerned about lines of sight than sound at this point. But you could certainly get a sample of it that you could show to Mama Zabagushka, at a time when it's more convenient, and see if she can read part of it. And a lot of it's covered with moss, too, so that takes a while to scrape off a good area and do it. But that's what's happening for the moment, which... leads us to Mama Zabagushka. Now, you fell down, remember, from Gustav's shoulders. Whenever Dobrogost hit the bell, it startled everybody, especially him. And remember, he had, the heebie-jeebies. He'd, push you off him as fast as he could. Because to them, they're still acting suspicious towards you. They're not convinced you are not some creepy witch who's walked out of the woods who has something to do with all this. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot that's left unspoken here, you know what I mean? And the woman who's crouching against the wall, who's now untied, but these Habsburgs still don't know that. And what do you do? Or say? You've taken your look at the bell, old woman. Are you satisfied?
Well, I was not expecting it to ring a little when I was up there.
Well, God's truth, neither did I. I didn't expect that either. So how do we know you're not in league with forest sprites or something?
Well, I'm neutral. I'm not in league with anything. But I'm not enemies of anything in this forest either. And I have to ask about this woman who is completely tied up. And why do you have her captured? You might have angered something.
My name is Alona, she cries out. Quiet witch, he says. I'm not a witch. Well, she's not a witch, but her husband's a partisan. He was not a partisan. He was a spy. He was not a spy. He was conferring with Turks. He was seen at the border. He was trading milk and eggs with Turks. Yes, that's what he did. And they killed him. They murdered him. And that's why the bell rang. That's why it always rings before death like that. Because I know what happened. I told you she had that weird triumphant look on her face when you guys first approached. She seemed less like a victim than anything. But that question has certainly triggered an outburst. And one of the guards, or one of the soldiers, the youngest looking one, walks over to her and strikes her, cuffs her. And on instinct, she reaches her arm out to stop him. And then, if anyone wants to roll initiative at this point, just to stop them from rushing over to her and retying her up, now would be the time. But you'd have to make a dexterity save to act at this point. This is not necessarily triggering combat. Things could still be de-escalated, but
so he was gonna like strike her or just try to tie her.
He tried to strike her, and then she rebuffed his arm. And then now several of the Habsburgs are rushing over there to subdue her, and she's just trying to stand up proudly and glare at them like Conan's mom, if anyone gets the film reference, right before she dies. She gives them that look as they're rushing up towards her. If anyone wants to intervene, make a dexterity save. If not, you don't need to do anything.
I will.
Okay.
But I don't have a very good chance.
I will intervene, and I rolled a 3, so
I failed.
Well, you beat me with. I only got a 7, so you can. I defer to the bone lady.
Well, anyone who did make their save can act before those Habsburgs are able to subdue her. So we can start, and of course, exact order doesn't matter. But let's go ahead and start with you, Barbie. Barbie, the Bone Keeper. What do you do?
So I am going to basically try to intercept. So I'm going to step between the woman and the aggressors.
Well, I know you're not picturing the scene exactly how I am, and that's possible, but it's more like you have to dash over there and, won't be like step out anywhere, but you'll have to run across. And no roll required or anything.
Okay.
It's much more dramatic than stepping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. And I will roll over.
Which
I'll
startles
run
everyone.
roll over there. I'm going to roll over there. Get down on the ground and roll over.
It's even worse.
I will.
Right.
I will run over there, and I might have to tackle her. I don't know. I mean, I'll try to.
Well, let's go with your original intervene your body, right? Stop them. So you got to picture this from their perspective. A person who they had no idea was here suddenly comes charging out with the, plague doctor mask, which is always unsettling. Even more unsettling is the Barbie ponytail that is sticking out of the top of it. But you're able to plant yourselves right in between you and her. They're going to have to go through you now on their turn to get to her. Let's see, who else could go? I think, Dobroghost, I know, could go. What do you do, if anything?
So Dobroghost had an idea, and then he was about to act on it, and he sees Barbie just sort of jump up and rush out and interdict, essentially, or intervene, planting herself between the soldier who was going to, I believe, restrain this prisoner, right? And so they are all presumably distracted by this sudden, motion and commotion caused by Barbie.
Every single one of them is looking in that direction, yes.
At which point, Dobroghost is going to leap up from his location, he's wearing these very loose fitting ancient, or not ancient, but like, antique style clothing, which largely slips off of him. He's kind of just wearing a loincloth at this point, and he just comes walking almost like a zombie. And he's going to talk like this and say, "Oh."
At that point, there are open screams from these grown men, these mercenaries, this hardened foraging party, and it's a shock to everyone. Okay, Percival, the die seems cast here. Were you able to act before them? Did you make a dexterity roll, or did you make one?
I did not make one because I assumed I was still in the back of the building.
You are
not.
You are.
What was going on?
Well, you know it. You can obviously hear what's going on. You're not that far away, but you can tell shit's going down. Let me put it that way. You can't get a good look, but you can certainly do something if you want.
Right. I think I would want to run, on the side of the building and sort of stay, hidden at the corner to observe what was going on and get a good position in case we have to fight anyone.
Okay,
you could still give us a hand.
Well, if only you could just shout that out.
Give us a hand. Ha ha.
Mama Zabagushka, did you make a dex save?
I failed.
Okay, so they're going to go. I'm going to say, and I hope that you see this as comically as I do, but Tall Gustav, who just so recently had Mama Zabagushka on his shoulders, is one of the few that has the crossbow. Looking up and seeing the zombie coming out of the forest, he just panics and staggers backwards and, automatically shoots the crossbow at you. Ugh. And it is 7 points of damage. I don't know if you have any armor, but, make sure you reduce that if you do. And he kind of screams while he did it. Emotionally, it's his loss. Unfortunately, you're the one with the damage. And Franz, who's notable by the black eye he already has, does try to grab Ilona, but she makes a dex save, and he can't do it. I mean, he forces her to make a dex save, or he's going to grab her. She twists out of the way. And he's coming up for another angle. And then a fellow named Peter, who's got a dent in his helmet, actually whips out his messer and decides to stab you, creepy plague doctor woman. Messer's like a little machete. Messer is in Messerschmitt. And, but he only does 3 HP, so don't forget to reduce that by armor if you have it. The rest are going to forego their actions right now. Hendel has drawn his weapon, has taken a movement back to assess the situation and figure out what the hell is going on, because he's an officer. He's not going to act panically. The rest of these guys are kind of crowding in on Ilona, trying to get her, and it's become kind of a fracas. That's what happens. We're going to go back to you guys, and let's see. Gosh, who is it? If anyone just dying to go, shout it out. Yes, I can see Percival straining. There. You are. What do you do?
From my my vantage point at the side of the building, semi-hidden, the guy that just fired the crossbow at my little buddy Dobrghost, I want to fire my crossbow back at him.
Okay. I think you should do it. And because he does not know you are there, I'm going to let this attack be enhanced. He doesn't know it's coming. He's not even looking in your direction.
Thank you.
And so it's a D12 for the damage.
Before I knew it was enhanced, so I'm going to roll the D12 now.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd just like to point out that when I rolled the D8, I also rolled a 7, just the same as he did.
That would have been a 7 for a 7. That's in the Bible.
And on the enhanced attack with the D12, I rolled a 2.
I'm going to give you the 7. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to let you have the 7 on that one. So, a 7 for a 7, like I said, that is in the Bible. And, of course, that draws attention to you, but certainly took Gustav by surprise, and he staggers a bit. And, gosh, Dobroghost, how about you? You've just been hit. It's not pleasant.
Yes. Taking my HP to 0, biting into my strength, and rolling right on my strength for my save, which I believe is very close to dead, or down, but not.
Okay. Well, this is bad news, but at least you weren't right at 0. You're down in 2, and you've made a critical save. That's good. You're still up, but
I've made it right on my strength, which I think is successful.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But as a reminder to me, and if you're ever right at 0, tell me exactly 0, because then you could get a scar, but only if it's exactly 0. Anyway,
well, unfortunately, or fortunately, perhaps it's below 0. Well, it biting into my strength.
Yes.
So, crossbows take a while to reload, so he's going to. And he was just kind of wandering, arms outstretched and groaning initially. But now, having been shot, he's going to focus in on the guy's name who I forgot that shot him.
His name is Gustav, and that guy now has a crossbow bolt sticking out of him, and he's staggering. Yeah.
Right. And basically... Dobroghost is going to, 28 days later, straight at him. Just like,
you can see it in his eyes. When what he sees is like the Grim Reaper coming for him. He knows. I assume you're going to attack him at the end of it.
I was going to tackle him and try to eat him, essentially, bite his neck.
So Dobroghost got in his head.
Zombie. He does not make a dex save, and you are able to tackle him. You've got him on the ground. Even just tackling him is worth an impaired amount of damage. So go ahead and roll D4. That could kill him right there, potentially, or at least force him to go into critical damage.
That will be 2.
Okay. Well, he now is right at 0. We won't worry about what his scar is, but for now, because his scar is going to be like fucking bite marks on his neck and face, probably, because
that's that's exactly what I'm trying to bite his nose and ears off.
Okay, well, we'll resolve we'll see how long it takes you to bite him to death on the next turn. And that'd be a first for me, though. Death by bite. This would be a system where you could do it. Bite him twice, he's probably going to die. How about you, Mama Zabagushka? Now everything is going off in a whirlwind right around you. You're in the thick of all these guys. You're closest to Corporal Lucas Hendel, who's trying to assess the situation. He's almost ignoring you at the moment.
Yeah, I was going to actually just leap onto him and start stabbing him. With my iron dagger.
All right. Because I said he wasn't paying attention, and the way you narrated leaping onto him, I think this should also be an enhanced attack. And
okay.
You're always free to try to narrate yourself into an enhanced attack, by the way.
So I roll a d12 for damage?
Yeah. Okay. This is like full on stab.
Well, fuck.
Well, maybe
only
not so
4
stab
damage.
Hey, you know what? That's fine. He does have that, leather that it used to be a white leather, like long buff coat, but so that counts as a little armor, but he does take a little damage there, and you heard him, and he's screaming now, swearing in German at you. And gosh, who hasn't gone yet? Barbie?
You're
also right there in the thick of it. You're right in the middle of a freaking, Scrabble. People pushing, shoving all around you, trying to get past you. It's a whirlwind. What do you do?
All right. So is someone that in the group that's trying to recapture
Oh,
What's
yeah,
her
the guy with
name?
mutton chops is, and the really young-looking one is, and the guy with the...
Any of them injured yet?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna crowbar upside the head, Mr. Mutton Chops.
Okay. You hit him, so you get to learn that his name is Horst. Horst, he says. He always says his own name.
Horst.
When he's being beaten, it's strange. No one knows why. Yeah.
3 points of damage.
Thunk. His head rattles to one side. And let's see. I think that's all of you, right? Yeah, I think it is. Now, all three of those guys, Horst and Manny, the boy, the young one, and Peter with his helmet dent, they all take you on with their messers, Barbie. However, it's 3-on-1. They are, all just rolling dice, and I'm picking the highest one. Well, I have 2 1s and a 5, so it's going to be the 5, obviously. But now you're in the scrap of it. You're in the thick of melee. And Franz, with the black eye, realizes where the crossbow bolt has come from, and he rushes back to engage you in melee, Percival, and strikes at you with his little messer. It also rolls a 5 for 5 damage. And, of course, if you have armor, don't forget to block that off. Hendel, meanwhile, who has Mama Zabagushka more or less on him, decides to back up as hard as he can into the timber structure that they put up to hang the bell from, right? Mm-hmm. So, backs into it as hard as he can, smashing you into it, and he's going to do... If he can make he's a little bit at risk here, but he doesn't. He does it nicely. He rolls a 4, and I'm going to give him his unarmed damage on that. Altogether for them, it's going to be 6 with the impaired damage from smashing you into the wall or the post.
Use my one-time pot helm armor.
Oh yeah,
I got last time. So
that's perfect.
Soak. Yeah, so I'm not at 0 yet.
Yeah, and that's great. And, of course, it crumbles now and, falls off your head. But I'm glad you remembered that because I probably would have forgotten about it. Okay, I think that finally there's only Heinrich, noticed easy to identify because of his ginger stash. His nice big ginger mustache. But he's, he thinks who else is around that he can even see. He's going to go help his boss. He runs up to stab Mama Zawagushka with his messer and rolls a 1.
Well, now I'm at 0.
Now you're at exactly 0.
Yeah.
And 1 point of damage is what took you to 0. So you will have a lasting scar. Roll a d6 real quick for me.
6.
Okay, well, that is going to be on your ear. You have a lasting scar on your ear. Now, what's your XP right now? I mean, not your XP, your HP. How many do you have?
0.
No, I meant total. What's your max?
Oh,
normal?
6.
Okay. All right. Your hit points can sometimes go up. I'll explain to our listeners when you get a scar. He could have rolled a d6, and if that was higher than his max HP already, it would have gone up. But you couldn't get higher than a 6. So let me not be too mysterious there. I think that's the end of a bad round.
So I have just a scar on my ear?
Yeah, you have a scar on your ear. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And anyway, there we are. I think they've gone. Now it's your turn again. So what do you guys do? Is there any way to destabilize the situation? You're going to fight this out to the death? Anyone want to leap in and go first real bad?
So all I have is a scar, not like I'm not unconscious or anything.
Nope.
Okay.
You're still up and at him. You haven't gone down into critical damage. Yeah, you're good. You're still in this thing.
That guy, I will turn to try to leap onto him now and stab him.
All right. And the leaping on part is mostly just cinematic here.
Yeah.
I'm not making you roll for that, but...
well, I rolled a 4 again for damage.
Okay. You hurt Heinrich. And now he's screaming, "Get off me, get off me, get off me," in German. And how about Dobrogos? What's Dobrogos doing?
Well, simultaneous to... Well, no, I'm going to skip that. No, he's literally just trying to bite this guy's fucking nose right off of his face.
I think at this point, shit, you know, I don't think we're going to bother with the rolling damage on that. I mean, I think we know it's going to put him into negative, right? And I think just the horror, I'm not even going to let him roll to avoid critical damage as his face is being eaten. I think the horror of it is just too great. He's given up in his heart. I'm letting you just fucking eat that nose, chew it right off. I mean...
Bath salts is a hell of a drug.
Yeah. And it's adding to the general confusion and chaos and horror of a situation. This is kind of a swirling mess. It's hard to tell what's going on. Percival, you've got a guy right in your face, Franz. He's already got a black eye. Somebody must have bitch slapped him earlier. You want to blacken his other eye, or what do you want to do?
I mean, that, or maybe cave in his skull with my mace.
And here it comes.
That is 8 points of damage.
Okay, and keep in mind, not all these guys, I've rolled their hit points individually. So like all people, some of them are gifted in the area of hit points and others are not. Franz is not. And so that goes, boom, way down into his strength, which was only 10 to begin with. So now he's got to roll 5 or less to avoid critical damage. He rolls a 14. You know, his skull is more or less caved in. He could maybe live if a friend gets to him. But, yeah, I don't think so. Anyway, nicely done. And, Barbie, what's going on with you? You got 3 guys
do some
on
more
you.
crowbar upside the head.
Well, to who?
Horse's head.
Horse. Okay.
Mutton chops.
Mutton chops. And, of course, he's got his buddy Peter with the helmet dented Peter, and Manny the boy right in here on you.
3 again.
And meanwhile, they're all occupied, by the way, and Ilona is, you know, getting up and starting to head for the forest now. I will also mention that. So, and say that one more time. I'm sorry. I was distracted by Ilona. You said something to the head
3.
to Horst 6? 3?
Yep.
Well, Horst 3 is now at exactly 0 now. We won't worry about his scar because I just don't think he's going to live long enough to get it. You know, something tells me. Have all of you gone? I don't think I've let everybody go yet, have I? Yes, I did.
I think so.
Okay. Corporal Lucas Hendel decides to dispatch... This is all you witch! I never should have spoken to you! And he attacks you, Mama Zamagushka, with his falchion, his great curved sword favored by Austrian officers. He must have just nicked you, though. He only rolls a 2 for the damage, which is great. Heinrich, his boy Heinrich, however, follows up with a wicked Messerstab for 5 points of damage. But we can resolve the first one first if it was going to cause a problem.
Made that, so now I'm at 10 strength.
Okay.
And what did he hit?
He does a further 5, so now you're down to 5 strength.
Yeah.
You're losing strength directly. So you need to roll
And
5 or less.
Get under, yeah.
Oh, my friends.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, the good news, you're not like...
Mama.
The good news, you're not at 0 strength, because 0 strength is dead. But you're getting close. This situation is getting out of hand quickly. Let's see. Meanwhile, Horst and his 2 buddies attack you again. You take 6 points of damage. That Manny did that, by the way. Little Manny did that to you, Barbie. And Franz does nothing because his head has been smashed. Gustav's having his face eaten. And that leaves that's all of them. And I'm going to keep track of which round this is. Okay. And Percival, what do you do?
Well, I've just caved in this guy's head.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about him anymore.
No.
I want to run and get like a good head of steam going right for the corporal who just hit Mama Zabagoosh.
Yeah.
And I'm going to yell, how about some corporal punishment, and swing the mace, but only do 2 points of damage.
No, roll a d12, because for the narrated charge and the bad pun.
Yeah, the pun gives you
The pun.
extra.
Yeah.
Well, in that case,
Also, he just...
I will punish him with 9 points of damage.
That's better. Also, factoring into making that enhanced, I was thinking he just saw you like bash a guy's skull in and then scream and run towards him. That helps. So you do the 9 point of damage to Corporal, who's already taken a little bit of damage. Now he has armor 2 because of his helmet and coat, so he takes 7. But that leaves him, he is visibly weakened, staggering back and forth. Now scared. Now the fear is in his eyes. And Mama Zabagushka, you're right there next to him. What do you do? You're now bolstered by your new friend Percival. Of course, let's not forget freaking Ginger Heinrich. He's still around.
Well, yeah, I'll try to finish off the corporal.
Okay.
And man, another 4 damage.
Okay. Well, you hit him for those 4 damage. That takes him down into his strength. That's 3 into his strength, which is normally 12, so he needs a 9 or less. He rolls a 3. He's still up. But I actually forgot to do something at the very beginning of this round, so it happens now. Then we'll continue the round as normal. But then, bong! The bell rings. The ground shivers and shakes beneath you. Again, a cry of screams from almost all of the Germans there. Almost as if they fear that bell ringing more than being killed by all of you. So now that's happening. And this time it doesn't ring just once. It rings again. It rings 3 times altogether. And so we were on your turn. Let's see. Dobra Ghost. What do? You look up from having... This guy's basically dead. He's died of shock, if nothing else. And that's what he gets. But what do you do?
He's got this guy's nose in his mouth, right? And he's gonna spit it out into his hand and stand up and say, "Hey, who wants to see a magic trick? I got your friend's nose," and just throw it at one of them.
And this adds to the horror. We're gonna assume you hit Manny because that cluster of people fighting Barbie is closest, and Manny the boy gets hit with the nose. He's the one that just did the big damage to your friend. The horror for him is increased, because this happens right while the bell is now tolling. This is one thing they feared. It's supposed to happen, before somebody dies. It might be a little late for some people around here. But Percival, what do you do?
I already acted.
Did you act at
this round, like at the beginning? Yeah, I hit the corporal and then Mama Zabagushka.
Oh, that was this round? Well, like I said, it's a swirling whirlwind. Nobody knows what the fuck's going on except for you. Barbie, what do you do?
Swing crowbar, horse. I'm very single-minded right now.
Okay, you want horse to go down. I know.
A horse is a horse, of course.
Yeah, you get splattered with a little bit of nose, by the way, because you're right there near Manny, too. Yeah. Because it has been established that happened earlier this round. Yeah. So, anyway, no. Anyway, so you did how much?
Barbie's not having a good night tonight.
Well, how much did you roll? Because he's already a 0.
1.
Oh. Well, the one armor.
1.
Yeah. The one armor he has, is going to soak that from his freaking helm. And bell keeps ringing. Who hasn't gone?
I think we've all gone now.
I think you've all gone.
That's everybody.
Okay. At this point, Gustav is dead. Franz is dead. Well, we'll die soon enough. The three who were on you, Barbie, are more afraid of the bell than they are trying to kill you. And they scream back and forth to each other a few things in German and run. And Manny, who's been hit in the face with a nose, actually drops his messer. Shamefully drops his weapon and runs. And they go charging into the woods. And it's kind of like dusk now, too, by the way. And who knows what's going to happen to those guys. Corporal Handel, not down yet, but he knows when he's beaten. And he throws down his falchion. As I surrender according to the Articles of War. But his face shows that he's looking at the bell, not you. And you have the feeling he's not even talking to you so much as he is the bell, right? And do you guys want to do anything as the bell approaches its third ring?
Yes. I'm going to say corporal, more like corpseral. And I'm going to stab him. Really, hopefully I can finish him off this time.
Okay.
One last stab while he's looking at the bell.
Yep.
Oh, 6 that time.
Okay, now that's right off his strength of 9, so he's got to roll 3 or less. Oh my God! No, let me tilt the camera without.
Come on.
No, seriously, look. Can you see this blue? Right here? Can you see that?
It's out of focus, but
it's. I swear to God, he rolled a 3. I don't. He doesn't want to live at this point any more than you want him to. But he's stabbed again for sure. I mean, it's actually worse, right? He can't just end it. He's going out, one by one, a bit of longer and longer horror. And he lives just long enough to see mist roll in from the edges of the forest on that third bong as it dies out. Bong. And a shape appears out of the mist, just seems to coalesce. Strikes fear into all of you when you see it. But you get the weird feeling it's not necessarily here for you. You've seen it before when you accidentally knocked the cairn down that was over the grave of someone outside. Someone with a bullet-shaped helmet. Remember you found a halberd blade with him and an old. Well, that spectral form has appeared now, and you hear Ilona, the woman, her laughter, from the forest. Laughter. Now you've lived long enough to get your revenge for my dear sweet Angie. And then she rushes into the clearing and throws herself on that freshly dug grave and starts dramatically wailing and weeping and pulling out her hair and beating her breast. And this thing stalks straight over towards Corporal Hendel. Do you guys get in the way, or?
I'm going to step back from that.
Yeah.
I'm
you
not
guys,
getting in the way of that.
We just met this guy, right? Yeah. And he lives. You're kind of glad now that you didn't kill him with that last blow, because he lives just long enough to beg, for death. Like, no, I can't do it. You didn't know it's a part of it. I don't orders. I was following orders. I was following. And you see the spectral halberd go straight up into his chest, and then and he shudders and dies. And then this thing turns around and blows a breath out into the forest, and you can hear 3 voices out in the forest screaming and dying. Probably those guys who ran. And Ginger is also touched with the halberd blade. You talk about your, moving quickly like 28 days later zombie. This halberd blade almost seems to extend and reach out and touch Ginger, and he's dead too. And soon He's there with you, and now it's almost completely dark. And as the mist is starting to dissipate, it says to you, "Read the stone, release my soul, or the next time the bell tolls, it tolls for you." And then the mist slowly fades away, but has room for one last sarcastic comment if anyone wanted to lob one off. Okay.
No.
All right. So, now it's dark. As Frank Booth once said, now it's dark. And so, it's also extremely calm suddenly. Now there's bodies laying around you. You're not sure exactly what happened here. The only person that's not dead, that you met today is Ilona. And she's now kind of sobbed herself into exhaustion, almost like she's been holding these emotions, ever since this guy got killed. Anji, she called him. And they said he was a spy.
Attempt to release his soul by reading this stone. If I can, let me see, where is this stone at?
And I don't know if I could see it before or not, but I will look for a stone.
Yeah, I mean, he can show you where it was, and he even showed you the scrap of parchment that he took.
Oh, yeah.
I can direct you. I'd like to, while, telling Mama Zabagushka where the stone is, I would like to pause to catch my breath, and if any of my friends are, fatally wounded, I could stabilize them.
Well, no one is fatally wounded yet.
But we can all take a little break.
Could all take a short break, a short rest, and get your HP back for sure. Any ability score loss will require a long rest, unless you could find some old woman to brew the right kind of potion for you.
I do have something.
We have an old woman.
I have an herbs pouch that restores 1 strength. I have 3 uses of that.
Well, that could come in handy, and there may be other old women who have even more. But when you look at the language on the parchment, it's old. It's an old rumor. People used to use it like a generation or two ago, even out here. Mama Zabagush, it's called Zekeli. It's a runic text where they get made for carving rather than writing with a brush or a pen. But the language is Magyar. It's like old Magyar. You can read it. Does anyone want to comfort? Does anyone want to comfort Ilona and help her up? Or you want to let her lay there and sob on the grave of her husband?
I mean, Dobroghost would probably try, but he's like, he's covered his face, his mouth is covered in blood. He's got like cartilage and flesh fragments.
Yes, I imagine she shudders a bit at that, but we'll leave her now. She's not going anywhere. She's not. She's in fact shows every sign of sticking close to you for the moment, to you guys, as you. But as you're doing this, she goes, "That was the Hataror." It's an old word, means border guard. Zelim is what they call him. He appears to avenge unjust deaths. However, long ago they buried that bell because he kept appearing all the time. I knew the old stories. I knew what had happened. So I kept my mouth shut. But now my Anji is gone. And yes, he traded with Turks. But that's all he did. He traded milk for cheese with some Turks. Oh. Anyway, meanwhile, you guys are looking at the stone.
There.
There you go.
I'll try to comfort her a little bit.
Yeah, she could be comforted by someone in a plague doctor mask or a guy who's just eating another man's face. Meanwhile, she looks like she'd prefer to be comforted by, the only, handsome, dashing-looking one among you, which is Percival. But we'll let him to make that decision on his own. But she does remind you of someone, just for a second, someone you once knew and lost. Something about her eyes, the lilt. Not saying they're related, not saying it's a clue. Just pings that memory in your heart. I mean, that's why you don't rush right over there. Some people have a little bit of...
Also, I'm, conferring with Mama Zabagushka at the moment.
Yes, that's true.
Important business.
Well, Mama Zabagushka, when you read it, and I'd love to just give this to you so you can read it in your own voice, but it says, If iron rings where it has no right, walk the border in plain sight. Take a handful of earth from each side, and mix them where wrongs cannot hide. Let those who killed mark the stone with red, so living blood recalls the dead. A free voice must speak what was done, not for banner, coin, or anyone. Strike the bell once by hand alone, then the watcher may rest and leave the stone. Well, that's all very cryptic.
Well, if we end now, we have a week to figure it out. No, I'm kidding.
That's right.
But I don't know. I have no idea. Other
Well-
than blood, it needs blood, and we have to strike the bell with our hand.
Luckily,
I think we just spilled the blood, and I think, gather earth from each side, probably each side of this
yes, says Alona. That's
church.
an old border stone. Take the blood of those who killed and put it on, mix it on the stone, and then take the earth from here, and then speak out what was done. And I think that after a while, over the course of the evening, you guys could stumble your way through what you think the appropriate thing to do is if you're highly motivated to, keep the bell ringing from you with her help. She seems to be... There's no witchcraft going off about her, by the way, on your mace, but she seems to be wise in the ways of local lore anyway.
So you're single then?
You could tell that all her hopes... You could tell in her eyes that all the hopes she had for you are dashed, But hey, it's not a world for heroes. Or maybe it is. Anyway, if you're truly concerned, I need escort back to my village of Menadek. Can you help me? It's one watch from here. It's about 8 hours. Please go. I can't go alone.
Yes.
What was the village name? Have we heard of it before?
Well, you've heard of it. You've seen it on a map. Somebody scrawled on a napkin once. It's probably just another small village like Zomaru where you visited before.
I heard the village of many dicks.
That's what I heard too. As well.
No, Menadek. It's a little thing over the last E.
That's what I said.
Menadek.
But this is what my purpose in this world, is to escort people to safety and such things. These are my
And
duties.
hit on recently widowed women.
Yeah. Well, because you guys didn't seem really that certain about the ritual, and even with her help, I'm still going to make a luck roll to see just how well you did, or whether you Klaatu Varata Nektoed. Luckily, I rolled a 5. Luck favors you. And you feel pretty confident, and Ilona certainly feels confident. The vengeful spirit of the Hataror Zelam is now put to rest. And that...
I would also like to say some words for Alona's deceased husband. Even though he's already been interred, I would like to say the words to help him carry through and pass on from this life through the veil to the next life, where he can await his beautiful Alona.
She has no objections to anyone who wants to say any words over him, but she does ask very earnestly for an escort back home. Now, I don't know where you guys had any idea going. There were 2 paths out of here. Zips, there's a place you've heard about that you have a reason to believe there's, trouble there related to adventures you've had long ago. That's
a
about...
wicked woman there.
Yeah, there is. Lady Erzabet, you've heard. Dark rumor of her. She rules for the Habsburgs. I mean, she... who is a faction, basically, who's trying to exert power here. That's about 3 watches to the northeast. You think if you take that road, you'd be going about 8 hours out of your way. 2 watches either way if you did go escort her back. But...
Well, we can't
I think it's the right thing to do.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Well, Do you want to camp here, or do you want to walk in the dark?
Oh, we might as well camp, and while we are resting, I will use my herbs, I think, for strength.
All right, you do that.
I'm not walking in the dark. There's zombies out here.
If you do escort me back, I'm certain that my grandmother might be able to give you something to help. Perhaps.
Yes.
Yes. Anyone who is grievously wounded of ability score loss might be able to be helped by my grandmother.
Then I will save my herbs for someone who is more proficient or has more herbs than I.
That's good. And the way between here and Menadek is absolutely safe, and there's nothing bad that could possibly happen, she says. And with that, we'll assume everybody beds down for the night in this strange place after this strange night. And don't worry, when you wake up in the morning with the bell ringing, it's just your mischievous friend, Dobra Ghost, who's gotten up early to ring the bell as well as he could on purpose. It lacks the supernatural ring, but it's a hell of a way to wake up. And the mischievous spirit's up early. We'll see what other trouble it causes, if any, in our next adventure.
Hey everyone, if you like this podcast, consider leaving us a good rating and/or review, and subscribe to us wherever you can. We've got a YouTube channel and a Discord server, as well as merchandise available at TeePublic. Find our website at GooniesWorldPodcast.com. Email us at GooniesWorldPodcast@gmail.com. You can find all those links and more at linktree/GooniesWorld. Thanks for listening.